My heart is where the Hebrew home is. For where the heart is, that's where you find the Hebrew home. Hebrew home, Hebrew home. Good morning, Hebrew home. My home, my heart is where the Hebrew home is. For where the heart is, that's where you find the Hebrew home.
Good morning, everyone. I am your host, Liisa Murray, in for Catherine Farrell today, and we're coming to you live from the Derfna Judaica Museum here at the Hebrew Home, and this is Good Morning Hebrew Home. Today is Monday, September 21st, and the time is 10:32 a.m. We have a great show planned for you today, so let's get started with the weather. Today will be a high of 65 and sunny, a great day for getting outside and enjoying the weather. Some may want a sweater, though, so bundle up if you go out. I always love to bring myself an extra sweatshirt just in case. Let's move to this day in history. September 21st, 1931. The Hobbit was first published in Great Britain. One of my favorite books. My dad used to read that to me when I was a little girl and started a love in science fiction that has continued to this day. 1989, Colin Powell is the first African American to be appointed as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. In fun holidays today is National New York Day. I mean, here every day I think is National New York Day. We're always celebrating New York, but maybe we'll celebrate New York like a little extra today. It's also National Pecan Cookie Day. I did not know, A, that pecan cookies were a thing or that they had a day, and National Chai Day. You know, I've talked here before about my love of Indian cooking, and chai, their kind of tea, is no exception. So I love a little chai. If you've got some chai, have some today. In celebrity birthdays, today is Stephen King's birthday. Stephen Edwin King, born September 21st, 1947, is an American author of horror, supernatural fiction, suspense, crime, science fiction, and fantasy novels. His books have sold more than 350 million copies, and many have been adapted into films, television series, miniseries, and comic books. King has published 61 novels, including 7 under the pen name Richard Bachman and 5 nonfiction books. He has also written approximately 200 short stories, most of which have been published in book collections. King has received Bram Stoker Awards, World Fantasy Awards, and British Fantasy Society Awards. In 2003, the National Book Foundation awarded him the Medal for Distinguished Contribution to American Letters. He has also received awards for his contribution to literature for his entire bibliography, such as the 2004 World Fantasy Award for Life Achievement and the 2007 Grand Master Award from the Mystery Writers of America. In 2015, he was awarded with the National Medal of Arts from the U.S. National Endowment for the Arts for his contributions to literature. He has been described as the King of Horror, a play on his surname, and a reference to his high standing in pop culture. I personally loved reading Stephen King books growing up. Some of my favorites are The Stand, Carrie, Christine, The Shining, and my all-time favorite, It, which has been made into several movie adaptations, one in 1990 with an iconic performance by Tim Curry, and I think every performance he does is pretty iconic, and more recently, a 2-part film in 2017 and 2019. I highly recommend both, but only if you're in the mood for a solid scare. Happy birthday, Stephen King. A little closer to home, residents celebrating birthdays today are Sonia J. and Lucy H. Happy birthday. And 3 staff birthdays today. Jessie B. in nursing, Kristen Morris in ARL admin, and Alba R. in food services. Happy birthday, everyone here at the Hebrew Home and everyone out there watching in YouTube land. So, usually this is the point in the show where we find out what food service is cooking up for us today, but they are still working on it. They're figuring out what our great lunch and dinner for today is going to be. So it's going to be a surprise for you and for me, but I bet it's going to be something wonderful. So today is just a mini episode. You might have been surprised to see me on your screens. We've been filling in for each other when people are out. So today's just going to be a little bit shorter of an episode. So let's get right into that positive news story. Caring conservation programs have prevented at least 48 animal extinctions, says study. Since 1993, 48 mammal and bird species, including the scimitar-horned oryx, California condor, and black-footed ferret, have been saved from extinction by conservation actions, a new study finds. According to the researchers' models, this coordinated effort by governments, academic institutions, nonprofits, and others prevented the rate of mammalian and avian extinctions from reaching levels 300 to 400% higher. This included some wonderful conservation efforts, such as those for the Przewalski's horse, of which 760 now roam the steppes of Mongolia, once again after it went extinct in the wild in the 1960s, and the Iberian lynx, 176 of which have been reintroduced to the wilds of Spain between 2002 and 2010. The loss of an entire species can be stopped if there is sufficient will to do so, said the study's co-author, Phil McGowan. This is a call to action, showing the scale of the issue and what we can achieve if we act now to support conservation and prevent extinction. What a great example of what can be achieved when people work together. So remember to tune into Channel 8 later today. We have What's the Story with Kate at 11:15, Exercise with Deborah at 1:30, and Your Hit Parade with Larry at 3:30. On Channel 88, Hebrew Home University at 7 p.m. with Gil. Tune in for that, always a good show. And don't forget, you can catch this episode of Good Morning Hebrew Home on Channel 88 at 6:30 p.m. or on YouTube. Join us tomorrow morning for another great show, same time, same place.
My